Anthony Hartwig alongside Ty Bartell, and we are joined by the Heartland Christian volleyball coach, Maggie Bowersox. Coach, thank you so much for taking the time to join us today.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
What a season you guys have had so far. You know, we're gearing up for tournaments last week of the volleyball season. Since we're getting you on here at the last week of the volleyball season, and I believe tell us a little bit about what you've seen from your team, what the growth you've seen from week one to now, and where you think you guys stand right now.
Yeah. Well, I knew going into this season it was going to be a building season. I have a really young team. Last year we lost three seniors that I've coached since seventh grade. So I definitely knew this year was going to be a building year. And I'm very big on the mental game. I always tell the girls it's 70% mental, 30% physical. So I'm really proud of their mental growth from the beginning of the year till now. There's definitely early on, we were making a lot more errors. Lost a few games I think we shouldn't have lost, but just mentally, we took ourselves out. We weren't able to compete. And now finally, you see them like the team's meshing better, and they're just starting to understand. The freshmen are getting more experience, so they're finally starting to get there now. It just happens to be at the end of the season. We're finally picking up that energy.
Talking about that too, there's no doubt you guys had some tough opponents on your schedule. Crestview, Western Reserve. There's some very good teams that you guys got exposure to that I think are going to help you with the tournament. I believe you face Lowville though tonight, and this is going to be a good matchup, I believe, with the Rockets. Talk to me a little bit about this matchup and preview a little bit for us what you're expecting tonight, and how much are you going to use as far as your roster? Are you going to try to be a little bit conservative before playoffs, or are you going to try to get them all exposed tonight?
Um, yeah, well tonight's our senior night, so I do want to get my seniors as much playing time. I do have some seniors who sit the bench, and so I'm really hoping today to get them in. And a lot of that, it just depends also on who's going to play and who's going to show up. Obviously, I hope we do win, and I'm expecting to win. I think all coaches, we're planning to win, planning our team to preparing them to hopefully win. So, um, yeah, I just want to get hopefully my seniors as much playing time. But uh, I'm also trying to get some of those younger girls. A lot of those girls are getting a lot of playing time in, and I'm starting to deal with some injuries too. So some of those girls, depending on injuries, we'll see.
That's
It's almost like every day one of these girls comes up to me and they're like, "Coach, this hurts," and I'm like, "Oh, geez, nobody else get hurt, please."
This week you had back-to-back games with Crestview on Monday and Tuesday, and obviously, what a tough team to play. What kind of things do you see from your team to grow from set to set with Crestview? And I mean, I was there on Monday night, and I saw growth just from set one to set three, and playing those tough teams. What did you see from your team from Monday and Tuesday night, raising the standard a little bit, getting Crestview under their belt?
Yeah, I'm so proud of how they played. We lost, and I'll tell the girls, I'll take a loss to a great team. Crestview, they've had an undefeated season, and I respect Coach Alicia so much. She does wonderful things with her program. And I tell the girls, I'll take a loss if you can walk off that court knowing you gave 100%, knowing you were disciplined, knowing you played your hardest. And I think we did that. That Monday and Tuesday was really where I saw a lot of the mental growth. For that, I was talking, we didn't quite have at the beginning of the season, and we showed it Monday and Tuesday. Sometimes with a team like that, girls can shut down, and that's when you really see teams getting crushed. And you can tell on their faces, you can tell on their demeanors that they don't even want to be there. And it can easily happen with a team like Crestview. But my girls didn't do that. And we maybe had moments of it, little bits here and there, but overall, they didn't. I think they fought. Crestview has amazing girls, and they got quality kills, and I think we were able to score some quality kills. We were able to get them out of, especially Tuesday night. We were able to get them out of rotation more, which that was our goal. We like to serve tough, and if we like to place the ball, we try to be really smart where we're putting the ball. So, and I think we were able to do that better Tuesday than we were Monday. But overall, I'm really proud with their mental game that both days.
I mean, you came in acknowledging that this was going to be kind of a building year. So you understood going into this season that you wanted to grow and develop these players. And obviously, we've seen that growth and development. What is kind of the next step that needs to happen for this program to take that next step in development in your mind?
I would say definitely I have different plans for next year. Our Heartland program overall is growing. 3 years ago, I started the season with 10 girls for both JV and varsity, and we were literally begging girls to play. And the last 2 years, we've had over 20 girls on our roster. And our junior high program is growing. So I really think our program as a whole is just going to grow. So next year, even kind of me as a coach, there's going to be, I think, some changes. A little bit more commitment that's going to be asked to continue our growth. I think it's great, and I kind of like being that underestimated team. Sometimes people think, they're going to come in and walk all over us, but we fight and we fight hard. So definitely just, a little bit more focus kind of for the program as a whole, really gearing up more on working off season together. So yeah, next year our program's growing, so I'm hoping it's going to continue to grow. Got some plans coming up.
We can't finish this interview without talking about Emma Hall because, I mean, what can you say? I want to read off these numbers. 290th career set that she got to play in on Tuesday night, which is 5th in program history. And it's a very proud Heartland volleyball program. A lot of good players have come through it. 849 total kills in her career, which is going to be just a little bit short of 1,000. What can you say about Emma Hall and what it's been like to be able to coach her and in the leadership that she's shown in this season that, like you said, all about growth? I mean, obviously you need a leader in those kind of seasons. So what has she meant to this program?
Emma is a beast. She is. You watch her play and she loves the sport. And when I first coached her in 7th grade, back when I was a junior high, and from then, the second her hands touched a volleyball, you could just tell she had a gift for it. And she has really picked up herself as a leader. She just leads by example. The girls look to her, and you can tell on her face, she just has that intense look, and the girls follow her. She leads by example, and she works hard. So she does whatever you ask her to. She is definitely an extremely coachable player. She is very hardworking. And it shows very much. So I'm definitely proud of her season.
You talk about the passion you have for volleyball, and I think it's there. I mean, Anthony talks about how much you get excited and pumped up too when you're at these games too for the girls, and I think that's awesome that that it's more than just a team, that it's a program that you're trying to build. Talking a little bit about the community that's around the program, and you talk about how much it's been feeding in as far as just girls showing up to practice and how much you have on the rosters wise. How has the community kind of shaped around this volleyball program, and how much support are you getting, and how has the Heartland Christian volleyball community been?
It's great. Heartland is very much a family, and we talk about that all the time. It's truly just a family, and we actually, with our open gyms and our practices, we do a lot of kind of devotion, just team bonding, going through talking about life together, even. Teenage girls, there's a lot going on there. And when you realize that you have people going through those similar struggles, you're not alone, then it really just continues to build that strength. So they are very much a family and they're close. Uh, so it's a great program to be a part of. It really is. We stand up for our girls. One thing I'm big on, there's no bullies. If I don't care if Emma Hall, she's not a bully at all, ever. But if you're one of the best players on the team, you'll sit if you're bullied. That is something we don't stand for on this team. That negative talk, which girls can do. Girls are sneaky about it. So, it's we encourage each other and build each other up, and that's just what we push. We're a family.
I got to talk a little bit more about this energy that you bring to the bench while you're coaching. I got to see it firsthand on Monday. You really get into these games. I mean, you were hinting on every point. I see you like leaning a little bit if the ball's going out, or jumping up and down if you really want to call. I mean, go into kind of your mindset during a volleyball game, and what kind of gives you that energy on the sideline. Because some coaches, great coaches to their own right, will just kind of sit on the bench or stand around or have their arms crossed the whole time. But you're just like into it physically and emotionally. Talk about that and what you go through during a volleyball game.
I miss playing. I sometimes I coach like I played. It sometimes it's like I look at the coach almost being as that seventh person out there on the court. And I try to lead by example a lot of the times. I tell the girls, like, you have to be able to move on from a point. You can't wallow in that mistake you just made. You have to be able to move on. You have to be able to push forward, and get excited. When we score a point against Crestview, scream your heads off, get excited, celebrate that. And, maybe it's going to help get in the other team's head a little bit too. But, it's just, I love the sport and I do miss playing, but now I kind of got to live vicariously through them. But coaching, I can still get into it. And it's just, yeah, my brain works best in the moment. So I have to be in the moment to kind of understand and better coach, I guess.
This is a question I, of course, always love to ask the players that have turned coaches. So I'm going to ask it to you as well. What is that one thing that Coach Bowersox would tell yourself as a player, if you could?
Let me think. Probably. Sometimes you don't know it all. I was kind of a know-it-all player. I'll admit that. Sometimes my head got a little bit too big. So, whenever it's easy to do that in volleyball, of course, you're getting all these kills, you're getting all this, you want to, and, just really listen to the coaches, because someday you may be a coach yourself. So, it's finally now that I'm in a coach and I'm in that area and I'm like, oh, wow, there's some things I should have maybe done differently as a player. And I can recognize those things. So as a coach, maybe if there's maybe a coach I didn't get along with, what were those things I didn't get along with in that coach? And I try to not sometimes display those, because let's be honest, we have great coaches and I had a lot of great coaches, and sometimes we don't have, some great coaches. So, if there's ever a bad coach, like, what is that you saw? And so I hope, learning from other coaches, can teach you how to be a better coach. So
Before we let you go, we want to preview tournaments a little bit. You guys are the 17 seed in the Division 4, and you will be in the Brookfield kind of sectional, I guess you could call it. You'll play at John F. Kidney at Brookfield on the 19th at 4:30. talk about this tournament. I mean, you're in with Brookfield sectional, which is a 10 seed. So, what kind of things do you have to do to kind of go in and win this sectional and get yourselves to districts?
We're focusing a lot on really minimizing our errors. Like a young team, you're very error prone. So we're really focusing on just drilling basics, getting that muscle memory, really focusing on a lot of our hitting errors and blocking errors are kind of our biggest two errors right now. So we've been doing a lot of hitting and a lot of blocking. And of course, as well as serve receive and working on defense. But, we've really kind of been drilling on those areas that where we're seeing a lot of our errors. We're trying to really minimize those errors. And sometimes, volleyball becomes the team that makes the least amount of errors. So that's what I'll focus on.
As of course, Coach, our final question that I have for you. Obviously, senior night. You're talking about the end of the regular season, right before tournament time, so it's winding down. Talking about the seniors that you have, just doing a little bit of reflection with them. What has been your favorite part of kind of coaching them as they're taking their final steps on for the final regular season game of the season?
Yeah, these seniors, they're great. I'm gonna miss them all so much. Two of the seniors, 3 years ago when I said we only had 10 girls, two of them joined at that time and then they continued to play. And they're just amazing leaders overall for all the girls. Even just leading the team in prayer and just coming together. They're loud. One of my seniors, she's one that oftentimes sits the bench, and she is the first one off that bench whenever we're scoring. So it's just, they love the team, and it's just so great to see that even though, you may not be getting a lot of playing time, they are still the biggest cheerleaders and the biggest encouragement. So they're definitely going to be missed coming up next year.
Coach, thank you so much for taking the time to join us. We love talking to you, and we will wish you the best of luck tonight and in the tournament. And, who knows, we might talk to you again real soon.
All right. Thank you.